mercy endure forever, you know what I'm saying? It's all about seeking His face, you dig? So I'm seeking His face. Yeah. I won't be envious against the wicked because I serve Yah. You can boast about your money while I boast about my Yah. Elohim is king. I forever bow down at His goodness. And Christ is the truth. And tell me why my people want the curses. My people praying to the same God of their enemy. Just cause we don't hang on trees don't mean that they a friend of me. Walking in integrity, praying to my heavenly. If you wanna make it to the land, I got the recipe. Keep on the law, Yahweh Elohim. If you ain't about this righteousness, you can't ride with my team. I'm a law reinvent, making the difference between the clean and the unclean. Yeah, I gotta do my thing. I can't have no fools around me now. Tyler told me that fools will get you killed. Ariel told me that must control your spirit. Israel told me that. Serve no other gods. Elisha told me that. Oh, seek His righteous word and His laws. He will surely hear you when you call. Blesses the man who puts all his trust in Yahweh Elohim. Curses the man who is evil. I can't stand the wicked man. Serving Yahweh is my joy. Proverbs are my closest friend. I look unto all my fathers, Jacob, Isaac, Abraham. Surely He scorneth the scorners, but give grace unto the lowly. I want to be holy. I fear Yahweh, the only Savior. Keep it good. I love my brother, honor Mama Dukes, and we yell hallelujah. Yahweh with my troops. Yes, they know why we keep the law. Elf and I, He teach the law. Genesis through Malachi, so you know we got a ball. Going against all the odds, wisdom is the principle. Make the wise the simple, though the law of Yah convert the soul. This is not a fairy tale, but Christ, He is a fairy tale. The law of Yah will save your life. Free yourself out of jail, free yourself out of hell, free yourself from the pain. All those that wait on Yahweh shall not be ashamed. Oh, your soul and your heart. Seek His righteous word and His law. He will surely hear you when you call. Sabbath day is a sign. I put a sign on my hand. I read His laws every day. I follow all His commands. I talk with them when I sit. I talk with them when I rise. I talk with them when I walk. I talk with them when I lie down. Praise Yah Elohim because He's true. Plus His laws are the truth. I thought that you knew that there ain't no other God beside Him. He did it alone. Talking about the heavens where He was. He sits on the throne of goodness. Who measured the heavens with His span? Comprehended the dust. Split the oceans with His hand. Lick He dead feet. He blind. Open up your mind. If you put your trust in Yah, everything will be fine. Remember Yahweh in His power. We boast in His name. Each and every hour, sunrise down to the same. The wicked is an abomination. Don't come our way. The wicked Yahweh make the selection. Don't come our way. Seek His righteous word and His laws. He will surely hear you when you call. Shalom, shalom, brothers and sisters all over the world. I'm Yahoo to be in Israel. I'm a Hebrew servant of the Most High Yah, and only serve Yah, and that's it, and that's all. Now, today's topic, I'm going to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that JC in the New Testament and Paul in the New Testament never kept the laws. I'm going to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt they never kept the Sabbath, and they never kept the laws. They broke all the laws. So, I'm going to prove today that they ain't no earthly good. Not no good. So, and okay, yeah, let's go to Matthew chapter 12. Now, I'm doing this up for all the Christians out there that believe in JC. They say he was a saint. They say he was perfect. They say he was God's son. He never sinned. He never did this and that. He was 100. No, the man was a clown. I'm going to prove today. Let the book tell you. What I say, Matthew chapter 12. Start at the first verse.
Matthew chapter 12, verse 1. At that time, JC went on the Sabbath day through the corn.
Y'all notice that he went through on the Sabbath day, he walking.
And his disciples were hungered and began to pluck the ears of corn and to eat. But when the Pharisees saw it, they said unto him, Behold, thy disciples do that which is not lawful to do upon the Sabbath day.
They breaking the Sabbath. They doing something wrong.
But he said unto them,
JC said it to them.
Have ye not read what David did when he was a hungered, and they that were with him, how he entered into the house of God, and did eat the showbread, which was not lawful for him to eat?
Now, every time they ask this man a question, he want to talk about something else. We talking about apples. He want to talk about oranges. And we talking about you, fool. We ain't talking about David. He asked you a question, and you want to bring up some snitch on somebody else. This man a clown. Read.
Neither for them which were with him, but only for the priests. Or have ye not read in the law how that on the Sabbath days the priests and the temple profane the Sabbath and are blameless?
He a lie. That's a lie. You ain't never read in the Old Testament where they defiled, what a holy priest, the Levites defiled the temple. So you know that's a lie. Read.
But I say unto you that in this place is one greater than the temple. But if ye had known what this meaneth, I will have mercy and not sacrifice, ye would not have condemned the guiltless. For the Son of Man is Lord even of the Sabbath day. And when he was departed thence, he went into their synagogue, and behold, there was a man which had his hand withered, and they asked him, saying, Is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath days? That they might accuse him.
No, it's not lawful. You ain't supposed to do nothing on the Sabbath day. They say, remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. You supposed to be resting. No, you ain't supposed to be doing no work. Read.
And he said unto them, What man shall there be among you that shall have one sheep, and if it fall into a pit on the Sabbath day, will he not lay hold on it?
No, he will not. Not if you're a righteous man, not if he fear Yah. If he love Yah, keep his commandment, you ain't gonna worry about that animal. And he just will be in the hole until after the Sabbath. You ain't gonna do nothing. This man coming up with all these suggestions and excuses and about nothing. Read.
And lifted out, how much then is a man better than a sheep? Wherefore it is lawful to do well on the Sabbath days.
Even the Most High told our animals to keep the Sabbath day. I might prove that on down the road, but I'm dealing with this right now. He told the animals to keep the Sabbath day. So what is this fool talking about?
Then said he to the man, Stretch forth thy hand. And he stretched it forth, and it was restored whole.
In other words, this man healed the man on the Sabbath day. So that lets you know he was not no God fearing man at all. Read.
Like as the other. Then the Pharisees went out and held a council against him.
They had a council against JC because they trying to figure out, man, what we ought to do to this fool. He's breaking the Sabbath and saying this and saying that and doing this and doing that. Read.
How they might destroy him.
How they might destroy him, but that's another subject. Okay, go to Mark 2. I'm going to prove today that JC and Paul never kept the laws and the statutes of Sabbath. Mark chapter 2, verse 23.
Mark chapter 2, verse 23. And it came to pass that he went through the cornfields on the Sabbath day, and his disciples began, as they went, to pluck the ears of corn. And the Pharisees said unto him, Behold, why do they on the Sabbath day that which is not lawful?
Why y'all doing this on the Sabbath day, which is not lawful? Because you ain't supposed to be doing none of this, what you doing, JC, on no Sabbath day.
And he said unto them,
Now watch the answer that this fool gonna say.
Have ye never read what David did?
He didn't ask you about David. He asked you about your disciples. Don't tell me about no apples and I'm talking about oranges. Read.
When he had need and was hungered, he and they that were with him. how he went into the house of God in the days of Abiathar the high priest, and did eat the showbread, which is not lawful to eat but for the priests, and gave also to them which were with him.
Now he just told a lie. All JC doing is lying to try to cover up his rotten self. Read.
And he said unto them, the Sabbath was made for man, and not man for the Sabbath.
Okay. Mark chapter 3, verse 1. Yeah, Mark 3 and 1.
Mark chapter 3, verse 1. And he entered again into the synagogue, and there was a man there which had a withered hand, and they watched him whether he would heal him on the Sabbath day, that they might accuse him. And he said unto the man which had the withered hand, stand forth. And he said unto them, is it lawful to do good on the Sabbath days, or to do evil?
Listen, man, it's lawful to do right on the Sabbath day. This ain't got nothing to do with no good and evil. It said, remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy, and you're not keeping it holy. You breaking the Sabbath. You healing and doing everything else on the Sabbath day. Read.
To save life, or to kill? But they held their peace.
Now, why did they have their peace? Because they didn't know no better. Couldn't have knew no better. Because if I was there at that time, I would have told them, look, it's all about Yah. We got to keep his laws, his statute, commandment, judgment, fool. And he never told us to do no work on the Sabbath day. And I'm going to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt on down in the book that we ain't supposed to do no kind of work on the Sabbath day. I don't care if my sheep is out there in the hole. Let them stay in the hole. Ain't nobody studying no sheep. Y'all first, sheep last. Read.
And when he had looked round about on them with anger, being grieved for the hardness of their hearts, he said unto the man, stretch forth thy hand. And he stretched it forth, and his hand was restored.
In other words, this JC healed the man on the Sabbath day. He looking around, see who looking. He angry because they questioned him and he know he ain't had no business working on the Sabbath day, but he did it anyway because he ain't a fart in the windstorm. Read.
Whole as the other. And the Pharisees went forth, and straightway took counsel with the Herodians against him, how they might destroy him.
Why they gonna destroy him? Because he breaking the Sabbath. Everywhere you go, every book I turn to, he breaking the Sabbath. He playing game. And the Christian want to holler about he was perfect. He was a saint. He never did this. He never, man, the man was a clown. He did everything wrong. He worse than me, you, and everybody else is out there. JC ain't no better than nobody that's in the United States today. He was worse.
But
Okay, that's good. No, I'm done with that. Let's go to Luke 6. This man was perfect. He ain't never seen. He was, man, stop it. Luke 6 and 6.
Luke chapter 6, verse 6. And it came to pass also on another Sabbath
On another Sabbath night, I'm going to show you all through the book what this clown doing on the Sabbath day.
that he entered into the synagogue and taught, and there was a man whose right hand was withered, and the scribes and the Pharisees watched him, whether he would heal on the Sabbath day.
Everybody want to know if JC going to heal on the Sabbath day, which he is, because he a fool, a damn fool.
That they might find accusation against him. But he knew their thoughts, and said to the man which had the withered hand, rise up and stand forth in the midst.
Told the man to stand up in the midst. He's showing out now.
And he arose and stood forth. Then said JC unto them, I will ask you one thing. Is it lawful on the Sabbath days to do good, or to do evil?
Well, I'm going to show y'all what the book say what to do on the Sabbath day on down the road. Since this smart mouth fool talking slick, read.
To save life, or to destroy it?
You ain't supposed to do nothing on the Sabbath day.
And looking round about upon them all, he said unto the man, stretch forth thy hand.
Well, nobody didn't answer JC the fool. He stretched forth his hand.
And he did so, and his hand was restored whole as the other.
In other words, he healed the man on the Sabbath day. This man is in a fart in the windstorm. Read.
And they were filled with madness, and communed one with another what they might do to JC.
And the reason why they mad at him because they know he ain't got no business healing nobody on no Sabbath day. Okay, go to Luke 13. I ain't gonna tell it to you. I'm gonna show it to you. I let the book do the talking. I'll bag everything up I say with the book. That's when they mad at me because I can prove it. I ain't just running around here talking. I'm letting the book talk. Anybody that don't keep the Sabbath, you got it from JC. Because he don't keep no laws and Sabbath. And so that's when all the Christian churches on this earth don't keep the laws. Because they looking at this. What I say, Luke 13, start at 10.
Luke chapter 13, verse 10. And he was teaching in one of the synagogues on the Sabbath. And behold, there was a woman which had a spirit of infirmity 18 years, and was bowed together, and could in no wise lift up herself. And when JC saw her, he called her to him, and said unto her, Woman, thou art loosed from thy infirmity. And he laid his hands on her, and immediately she was made straight.
Now all this work he doing on the Sabbath day, why come he couldn't do it on a Sunday or a Monday, but you're going to do it on the Shabbat day? This man a fool. Read.
And glorified God. And the ruler of the synagogue answered with indignation,
And then the man mad. Indignation mean anger.
because that JC had healed on the Sabbath day.
That's right, because I'm mad right now reading this. Because he ain't got no business healing on the Sabbath day. He supposed to be mad at this fool.
And said to the people, There are 6 days in which men ought to work.
Oh, that man had some sense right there. He said sick. That's right. He popping corn right there. Boy, you got to read that again. But finish reading, then I want you to read that again. Because he popping corn right now.
And them therefore come and be healed, and not on the Sabbath day.
And not on the Sabbath day, man. Everybody want retarded, stupid, and no damn fool back in them days where he was. Somebody had some sense just like me. And all other Hebrews. Read.
There are 6 days in which men ought to work, and them therefore come and be healed, and not on the Sabbath day. The Lord then answered him and said, Thou hypocrite, do it not each one of you on the Sabbath loose his ox or his ass from the stall, and lead him away to watering? And ought not this woman, being a daughter of Abraham, whom Satan had bound, lo, these 18 years, be loosed from this bond on the Sabbath day?
Now he compared apples to oranges again, coming up with these excuses. Read.
And when he had said these things, all his adversaries were ashamed, and all the people rejoiced for all the glorious things that were done by him.
The reason why they rejoiced, because they was wicked just like him. His congregation was wicked. These are Christians was following this man, and they all was wicked. The real Hebrews, they was upset at him. Okay, yeah, but boy, I liked it that. Let me read that one more time where it says 14. Yeah, start at 14.
Verse 14, And the ruler of the synagogue answered with indignation,
He was mad, angry.
because that JC had healed on the Sabbath day, and said unto the people, There are 6 days in which men ought to work, and them therefore come and be healed, and not on the Sabbath day.
And not on the Sabbath day. Okay, that's all of that. Let's go to Luke 14. That's cold blooded right there, boy. Everybody wasn't no damn fool like following JC. 14 and 1.
Luke chapter 14, verse 1. And it came to pass, as he went into the house of one of the chief Pharisees to eat bread on the Sabbath day, that they watched him. And behold, there was a certain man before him which had the dropsy. And JC answering spake unto the lawyers and Pharisees, saying, Is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath day?
It's not lawful to do nothing on Sabbath day, fool. I'm going to prove beyond a shadow of doubt that you ain't supposed to do nothing on Sabbath day. Not even your animals. Read.
And they held their peace.
Now, you see, I ain't holding my peace.
And he took him and healed him and let him go.
He healed him anyway. They didn't say nothing. They tried to condemn us till he went on and healed him.
And answered them, saying, Which of you shall have an ass or an ox fallen into a pit, and will not straightway pull him out on the Sabbath day.
In other words, this man said, if you have a blowout on the Sabbath day, ain't you gonna go out there and help your buddy change the tire on the car? No, you ain't studying that. Read.
And they could not answer him again.
Man, that's the easiest question in the world to answer. You can't answer him. I just answered him. Hell no, I ain't gonna help him or do it. Read.
To these things. And he put forth a parable to those which were bidden.
Oh, okay, that was it. That's all I want. Let me see. I think that's all I want. That was 6. Yeah, okay. John 5 and 6. John 5 and 6.
John chapter 5 verse 6. When JC saw him lie and knew that he had been now a long time in that case, he said unto him, Wilt thou be made whole? The impotent man answered him, Sir, I have no man when the water is troubled to put me into the pool, but while I am coming, another steppeth down before me. JC said unto him, Rise, take up thy bed, and walk. And immediately the man was made whole, and took up his bed, and walked. And on the same day was the Sabbath. The Jews therefore said unto him that was cured, It is the Sabbath day. It is not lawful for thee to carry thy bed.
That's right. This is happy day. It's a holy day. You ain't got no business doing no work, carrying no bed. The Jews knew the business. Read.
He answered them, He that made me whole, the same said unto me, Take up thy bed and walk.
And that was JC that made him whole. He the one told him to break the Sabbath day. Go on walk. Go on walk to St. Louis or wherever you gonna go. Where you going? Read.
Then asked they him, What man is that which said unto thee, Take up thy bed and walk?
He asked him, what man was that that told you that?
And he that was healed wist not who it was, for JC had conveyed himself away, and a multitude being in that place. Afterward JC findeth him in the temple, and said unto him, Behold, thou art made whole, sin no more, lest a worse thing come unto thee. The man departed and told the Jews that it was JC which had made him whole.
They told him this tale. Snitched it. It was right. He told him but
And therefore did the Jews persecute JC, and sought to slay him, because he had done these things on the Sabbath day.
and the reason why they gonna slam him for doing anything on Sabbath day, because they know that Yahweh say, remember my Sabbath day, keep it holy. You ain't supposed to be doing no work. So they had every right to slay this man. And then when I get on in the Old Testament, I'm gonna show you, boy, that JC would have been dead a long time ago in the Old Testament.
But JC answered them, My Father worketh hitherto, and I work.
He a lie. Yahweh ain't worked on no Sabbath day. He rested on the Sabbath day. He worked because you a fool. But Yahweh never worked on the Sabbath day. He worked 6 days and he rested on the Sabbath day. So he just told a bald-faced lie on Yahweh. Now read that again. That lie again.
But JC answered them, My Father worketh hitherto, and I work.
Well, you ain't none of the Most High fool. You sit down. Whatever Yahweh do is okay with us. But you can't do what Yahweh do because you ain't a poot in the wind.
Therefore,
That's all I want. Go to John 9. John 9, start at the 10th verse.
John chapter 9, verse 10. Therefore said they unto him, How were thine eyes opened? And he answered and said, A man that is called JC made clay, and anointed my eyes, and said unto me, Go to the pool of Siloam and wash. And I went and washed, and I received my sight.
Now you notice everything JC doing, he breaking the Sabbath day. He doing on the Sabbath day.
Then said they unto him, Where is he? And he said, I know not. They brought to the Pharisees him that aforetime was blind, and it was the Sabbath day when JC made the clay
It was the Sabbath day when he made the clay.
and opened his eyes. Then again the Pharisees also asked him how he had received his sight. He said unto them, He put clay upon my eyes, and I washed, and do see. Therefore said some of the Pharisees, This man is not of God, because he keepeth not the Sabbath day.
That's right, and they're right.
Others said, How can a man that is a sinner do such miracles? And there was a division among them.
That's right. There's a minute of my name. Okay, let's go to St. John 7. All through this book, this man was a clown. 7. That's 7 and 16.
John chapter 7, verse 16. JC answered them and said, My doctrine is not mine, but his that sent me.
Did nobody send you? Yahweh never sent you. Jeremiah never sent you. Moses, did nobody send you. You went on your own. Show me in the book where somebody sent you. Nobody.
If any man will do his will, he shall know of the doctrine, whether it be of God, or whether I speak of myself.
Well, you sure ain't doing the doctrine. You breaking every law that was made by Yah.
He that speaketh of himself speaketh his own glory, but he that seeketh his glory, or seeketh his glory that sent him, the same is true. No unrighteousness is in him. Did not Moses give you the law, and yet none of you keepeth the law?
No, Yahweh gave us the law. Yahweh gave Moses the law. Fool. Moses ain't gave nothing. Yahweh gave when he went up on the mount and stayed 40 days and 40 nights. He went to get the law from Yah. Liar. Read.
Why go ye about to kill me?
We're gonna kill you because you playing games and perpetrating a fraud and lying and keeping breaking the Sabbath, healing people on the Sabbath day. That's when we gonna kill you. Read.
And the people answered and said, Thou hast a devil, who goeth about to kill thee? JC answered and said unto them, I have done one work, and ye all marvel.
Yeah, you did it on the Sabbath day. That's really marvelous.
Moses therefore gave unto you circumcision.
He allowed Moses ain't gave no circumcision. The Almighty went to Abraham and told Abraham to get to be circumcised. So this man is lying through his teeth.
Not because it is of Moses, but of the fathers, and ye on the Sabbath day circumcise a man.
That's a lie. And nobody gets circumcised on no Sabbath day in the Old Testament. So you just told another lie.
If a man on the Sabbath day receives circumcision, that the law of Moses should not be broken.
Why you keep saying the law of Moses, fool? Hey, remind me too to show them that Moses didn't have nothing to do with the circumcision on down the road. Just remind me because I might forget. I'm gonna prove to this man ain't nothing but a liar.
Are ye angry at me,
Yeah, that's right. We ain't with you because you broke the Sabbath day, fool.
because I have made a man every whit whole on the Sabbath day?
That's right. You did something that you ain't supposed to do. You sin, fool. You ain't supposed to did none of that. Read.
Judge not according to the appearance, but judge righteous judgment.
The righteous judgment is so you'd have been dead if you was in the Holy Land at this time. You'd have been out of there. Okay. Let's go to 1 Corinthians. Now, that was all. I got on JC about him playing game. Now I'm finna get on Paul. 1 Corinthians chapter 7. Yeah. 7 and 18 and 19.
1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 18. Is any man called being circumcised? Let him not become uncircumcised. Is any called in uncircumcision? Let him not be circumcised.
In other words, if you ain't circumcised, don't worry about it. That's what Paul's saying. Don't worry about it. You ain't got to be circumcised. All you got to do is believe in JC and all this old clown stuff. Okay. 2 Corinthians 11. So this book ain't talking about no law. They want to break all the laws over here in the New Testament. and then you following this mess. You just as retarded as the book, as the New Testament book. Let's say 1 Corinthians chapter 11. Yeah, I watched it. I watched what Paul did. I know a lot of people out there probably ain't never heard this before, but boy, this book, watch what Paul says out of his own mouth. Read 11 and 7.
2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 7. Have I committed an offense in abasing myself that ye might be exalted, because I have preached to you the gospel of God freely?
Now that's what Paul said, right?
I robbed other churches,
Paul said, I rob other churches.
taking wages of them,
He taking the wages of them
to do you service.
to do you service. So in other words, I'm gonna rob you and tell you a lie. That's all. That's all they doing in the church. They rob me and telling you a lie. But at least Paul, I give him credit for. He will say, I robbed all the church, but you ain't gonna never hear T.D.J. Clefto, Daughter, and the rest of them say they robbed nothing. They think they doing good deeds by taking your money. But I give Paul a little credit. At least he is confessing that he's a thief. Read that again.
I robbed other churches,
I robbed other churches with the S on the end, meaning he robbed more than one church.
taking wages of them, to do you service.
To do them service. Okay then. Now he admitted that he was a clown. Let's go to Galatians. Yeah. Galatians chapter 2, verse 16.
Galatians chapter 2, verse 16. Knowing that a man is not justified by the works of the law.
See, he said, that was Paul said, knowing that the man is not justified by the works of the law. We know that's a lie. I'm going to prove to you that's a lie. This Paul talking, I read.
But by the faith of JC.
But you got to believe in JC. That's a lie. We already know that's a lie. Read.
Even we have believed in JC.
Yeah, I don't believe in him. Whoever do believe in him out there is a zip zap damn fool. Whoever believe in him, read.
That we might be justified by the faith of JC, and not by the works of the law. For by the works.
Hold on. He said not by the. Say that again. Read it again.
And not by the works of the law.
Ain't no law. That's what Paul telling me. Ain't no such thing as no law. That's what he's saying over here in the New Testament. Read.
For by the works of the law shall no flesh be justified.
He says, shall no flesh be justified by the law. Now, do anybody out there believe this lie? If you believe this, you retarded. This man just condemned the Old Testament. Say, I ain't studying no law, and ain't nobody thinking about no law. That's what Paul said. Whoo, boy. Go to Galatians 5 and 2. Then you wonder why my partners is out there in the world and don't want to read this book. Shit, I don't blame them. Read it for what? 5 and 2.
Galatians chapter 5, chapter 5, verse 2. Behold, I, Paul, say unto you, that if ye be circumcised, JC shall profit you nothing.
Okay, in other words, if you being circumcised, JC ain't profit you nothing. So in other words, don't be circumcised. All you got to do is believe in the Son, the Son, which is a lie. He ain't the Son, but that's what the New Testament say. Believe in JC and everything is all right. Don't believe in no circumcision. And don't forget to let me tell them about that too. Galatians 3. Go to Galatians 3. Galatians 3 and 11.
Galatians chapter 3, verse 11. But that no man is justified by the law in the sight of God.
He said, what? Say that again.
But that no man is justified by the law in the sight of God.
He said, no man is justified by the law in the sight of God. That's what this saying. Read.
It is evident, for the just shall live by faith, and the law is not of faith, but the man that doeth them shall live in them.
All in the words, this man talking about you got to have faith. If I'm hungry and I got a plate of food on the table and I just got faith, that ain't gonna work. I got to eat the food to get nourished and be satisfied. Works without faith is dead. You mean you tell me you got to just have faith now? You retarded. Okay, go to Luke 19. Luke 19. I done showed y'all today, but boy, this book ain't no earthly good. So if you believe in the New Testament out to today, then you wicked as you wicked, a bird of snakes. Let's see, 19. Let's see. Yeah, 19 and 29.
Luke chapter 19, verse 29. And it came to pass, when he was come nigh to Bethpage and Bethany, at the mount called the Mount of Olives, he sent two of his disciples.
Now JC sent two of his disciples. Let's see what he sent these two disciples to do. I'm gonna let you know this man is a thief, just like Paul is. Him and Paul, they partners. Read.
Saying, Go ye into the village over against you.
He told these two men to go to the village against you.
And the which at your entering ye shall find a colt tied.
And when you get you get over in this village, you're gonna find a coat tied up,
whereon yet never man sat. Loose him and bring him hither.
Listen, when you see these two coats tied up, go untie. It's like if I seen you out there in my back, untie my dog and bring it to me. Bring it to me. That's what it's saying.
And if any man ask you, why do ye loose him?
And if anybody stop you while you walking my dogs and ask you what you doing with Yahoo the dogs,
Thus shall ye say unto him, because the Lord have need of them.
in other words, the JC say he need them. Now he done sent somebody in my backyard done loosen my pit bull dog, and they get caught walking down the street with him, and they ask him, "What you doing with the man dog?" He said, "Well, tell him JC need him." Read.
And they that were sent went their way, and found even as he had said unto them. And as they were loosing the colt,
Now as they were in the man's backyard loosening his coat,
the owners thereof said unto them,
the owner went out there and busted them. He got busted loosening them coats. Read.
Why loose ye the colts?
Man, what you doing taking my dogs off my chain in my backyard? I got a fence up. You done broke the lock and went back there and got my animals. Read.
And they said, the Lord have need of him.
JC need him.
And,
JC sent me to steal these dogs or these coats. JC sent me to steal it. Go in there in Walmart and get me two hams and a pot of chitlins. And when they stop you at the door, you tell them, JC out in the car, he didn't want to sit me in at him.
and they brought him to JC, and they cast their garments upon the colt, and they set JC thereon. And as he went, they spread their clothes in the way.
Now, who is he supposed to be at this time to go in somebody's backyard and get their animals?
And when he was come nigh, even now at the descent of the Mount of Olives, the whole multitude of the disciples began.
See, the Old Testament, there ain't nobody in the Old Testament that never did this. Moses would have never sent nobody to nobody's house to go in their backyard to get something out their backyard and bring it to me. No, Jeremiah wouldn't have did it. Ezekiel would have never did it. Noah, Abraham, nobody would never did this. What this man did, I wouldn't did it. Meaning, tell me, I'm gonna send somebody to go on somebody's private property to bring their stuff, they stolen stuff that you took. So you got to be accessory because you was up with it. You was the main player in it because you the one that told him to go get it. Yeah, you just as guilty as the man that went and got the coats. Read.
To rejoice and praise God with a loud voice for all the mighty works.
Okay, that's 35. Let's read to 35. Okay, now let's go in the Old Testament and see what it says about the law. Since we done read all these lies in the New Testament, which you can do this and do that on the side, you can do this and do that. You can go in somebody's backyard and get their riding mower out and go cut your grass or whatever you want to do. Wicked stuff. Okay, let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 7. think I'm gonna do Deuteronomy 17. Okay. Yeah, Deuteronomy 17 and 19. Yeah. Deuteronomy 17 and 19 and through 20.
Deuteronomy chapter 17, verse 19. And it shall be with him, and he shall read therein all the days of his life, that he may learn to fear Yahweh as Elohim, to keep all the words of this law and these statutes, to do them,
Say to do them, do the laws. In the New Testament, it'll say you ain't got to do them. But Old Testament say do the laws. Read.
that his heart be not lifted up above his brethren, and that he turn not aside from the commandment to the right hand or to the left, to the end that he may prolong his days and his kingdom, he and his children in the midst of Israel.
Long as you live and you keeping the law. That's what they're saying. Long as you live. Go to Proverbs 13 and 13.
Proverbs chapter 13, verse 13. Whoso despiseth the word shall be destroyed, but he that feareth the commandment shall be rewarded.
The book says you're going to get a great reward for keeping the commandments. And you're going to be destroyed just like John the Baptist and all them clowns that got their head chopped off in the New Testament. And he got hung up on, JC got hung up on the cross. Yeah, they got destroyed. Okay, now let's go to Psalm 19. Boy, this cold-blooded right here. It's super cold right here, man. This here gonna get it. Let's see, Psalm 19. Okay, let's see. Yeah, all at the 7th verse. 19 to 7.
Psalms chapter 19, verse 7. The law of Yahweh is perfect.
Say the law of Yahweh is perfect. So when you keep the law, you become perfect. JC wasn't perfect. If he was perfect, he wouldn't have healed them people on the Sabbath day. If he was perfect, he wouldn't have sent them man in the backyard to get your dog off the leash and bring it to him. He couldn't have been perfect. Read.
Converting the soul.
Converting the soul means changing the soul. You're gonna have a change, you're gonna be a changed person.
The testimony of Yahweh is sure.
That's for sure.
Making wise the simple.
Making wise the simple.
The statutes of Yahweh are right.
So when you keep the statutes, you become right. You are right.
Rejoicing in the heart.
Rejoice in the heart means you having fun and you love keeping the laws. You don't get mad, you love it.
The commandment of Yahweh is pure,
They pure.
enlightening the eyes.
You're going to be able to see and understand. You have knowledge, wisdom, and understanding out this world when you keep the law. That's when I got to understand this New Testament ain't nothing. Ain't a fall in a windstorm. So anybody that believe in the New Testament, boy, you don't understand nothing. You a fool. Read.
The fear of Yahweh is clean,
Yeah, that's right.
enduring forever.
Going forever.
The judgments of Yahweh are true and righteous altogether.
All together.
More to be desired are they than gold,
Never had the commandments than gold.
yea, than much fine gold, sweeter also than honey and the honeycomb.
That's right. The commandment sweeter than honeycomb.
Moreover, by them is thy servant warned.
Right? Cause I'm gonna give you an example about the being warned. Read they can say, "Moreover, by them are the servant warned." So if he kept the commandments, JC would have never sent them two guys to go get them Rolls Royces out that man's garage. He would have never healed a man on the Sabbath day. So he was not warned. Read.
And in keeping of them there is great reward.
See, when you keep the commandment, that's a great reward. You got a real good blessing coming. That's when JC died at 33 and was on the cross hollering. That's right. If he was keeping the law, that wouldn't have never happened to JC. It would have never happened to JC. Okay, let's go to what's that? What was that? So okay, that was song. Okay, what I supposed to be improving?
Moses then do circumcision.
Oh yeah, hold on. I got something else I got to talk about too. Let's go to Exodus, and then don't let me forget that either. But I got to show them something else. Let's go to Exodus. That's 16. Yeah, Exodus 16. Let's start. Exodus 16 and 23. Cold blooded.
Exodus chapter 16, verse 23. And he said unto them, This is that which Yahweh hath said.
Now Moses talking now. Read.
Tomorrow is the rest of the holy Sabbath unto Yahweh. Bake that which ye will bake today, and seethe that ye will seethe, and that which remaineth over lay up for you to be kept until the morning.
So you know if the Almighty didn't want you to cook on the Sabbath day, you know doggone well He don't want you to heal nobody on the Sabbath day. Read.
And they laid it up till the morning, as Moses bade, and it did not stink, neither was there any worm therein.
Meaning there wasn't no maggots, one spoil or rotten. Read.
And Moses said, Eat that today, for today is a Sabbath unto Yahweh.
That's right. Eat it today. Right. Read.
Today ye shall not find it in the field.
In other words, there ain't gonna be nothing in the field. Walmart ain't gonna be open today because they closed.
6 days ye shall gather it.
Okay, he gave you 6 days. JC should have been healing on the Sabbath day, but it's gathering right here. Read.
But on the 7th day, which is the Sabbath, in it there shall be none.
Ain't gonna be no work. Ain't nobody gonna be doing nothing on the Sabbath day. Read.
And it came to pass that there went out some of the people on the 7th day
There go JC and his disciples walking through the field on the Sabbath day.
for to gather,
They've gathered, eating corn through the field,
and they found none.
and they found none.
And Yahweh said unto Moses, How long refuse ye to keep my commandments?
How long them disciples in the New Testament, JC gonna refuse to keep his commandments? Because over here in the Old Testament, we kept his commandments. JC and them didn't do it. Read.
And my laws?
In his laws,
See, for that Yahweh hath given you the Sabbath, therefore he giveth you on the 6th day the bread of 2 days. Abide ye every man in his place. Let no man go out of his place on the 7th day. So the people rested on the 7th day.
and JC and his disciples, they didn't rest on no Sabbath day. They was healing and walking all through the cornfields and doing everything they wanted to do. So the Old Testament, they would have been dead. All his disciples and him too would have been out of there. Okay, something else I got to show them too. Let's see. A man picked up them sticks on the Sabbath day. Let's see. Yes, no, I got something else on that. Let's see. Okay, go to Numbers 15. Yeah, Numbers 15. Yeah. 15 and 30, 31. Yeah.
Numbers chapter 15, verse 31. Because he hath despised the word of Yahweh,
And JC and his disciples, they despised the word of Yah, because they didn't do nothing.
and have broken his commandment,
And that's all they did in the New Testament was broke his commandments.
that soul shall utterly be cut off.
Utterly be cut off. That means to be going to hell. That's right, read.
His iniquities shall be upon him.
He gonna die for his own sin. Nickel gonna be up on him. Read.
And while the children of Israel were in the wilderness, they found a man that gathered sticks upon the Sabbath day.
Now this man was only gathering sticks on the Sabbath day. JC was healing and sending out people out to steal and do everything on the Sabbath day. Read.
And they that found him gathering sticks brought him unto Moses and Aaron.
Now let's see what's gonna happen to this man that's only been picking up sticks. JC was doing way more than what this man was doing. Read.
And unto all the congregation, and they put him in ward, because it was not declared what should be done to him. And Yahweh said unto Moses, the man shall be surely put to death.
Now Yahweh said this, so that means JC would have surely been put to death. All the stuff he was doing over there in the New Testament. Read.
All the congregation shall stone him with stones without the camp.
That's right. He got permission from Yahweh. Yahweh said to kill him. So you know he would have killed JC and his disciples. He killed this man for picking up sticks.
And all the congregation brought him without the camp, and stoned him with stones, and he died, as Yahweh commanded Moses.
That's right. Command them all. Okay. Now, that's supposed to go to prove about the circumcision. Genesis. Yeah, go to Genesis 17. He's talking about Moses had something to do with the circumcision. Let's see what the Old Testament say. Genesis 17. Dude, ain't nothing but a liar. Now, the New Testament say don't be circumcised. All you got to do is have faith, believe in JC. So let's see what the Old Testament say. Genesis 17 and 1.
Genesis chapter 17, verse 1. And when Abram was 90 years old and 9, Yahweh appeared to Abram and said to him, I am the Almighty Elohim.
Now, have you ever appeared to anybody in the New Testament? Have you ever appeared to Paul, Peter, Luke, or John, or JC? No, he never appeared to nobody. Read.
Walk before me and be thou perfect.
He told Abram to walk before him and be perfect. And the only way you can be perfect is keep his laws.
And I will make my covenant between me and thee, and will multiply thee exceedingly. And Abram fell on his face, and Elohim talked with him, saying, As for me, behold, my covenant is with thee, and thou shalt be a father of many nations. Neither shall thy name any more be called Abram, but thy name shall be Abraham, for a father of many nations have I made thee.
Now show me in the New Testament where Yahweh changed anybody's name. He changed this man's name from Abram to Abraham. Now show me anywhere in the New Testament where he changed anybody's name. I know he didn't do it. Read.
And I will make thee exceeding fruitful, and I will make nations of thee, and kings shall come out of thee. And I will establish my covenant between me and thee, and thy seed after thee, and their generations, for an everlasting covenant, to be a Elohim unto thee, and to thy seed after thee. And I will give unto thee, and to thy seed after thee, the land wherein thou art a stranger, all the land of Canaan, for everlasting possession, and I will be their Elohim. And Elohim said unto Abraham, Thou shalt keep my covenant, therefore, thou and thy seed after thee, and their generations.
Now he told everybody to keep this covenant. Now we're gonna find out what this covenant is that he made with Abraham and him, and not Moses. Read.
This is my covenant which ye shall keep between me and you, and thy seed after thee. Every man child among you shall be circumcised.
He said every man child should be circumcised, not Moses. He talking to Abraham, not Moses. That's what the New Testament say. Moses had something to do with it, so that was a lie. And I'll just prove that was a lie. He talking to Abraham. Read.
And ye shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin, and it shall be a token of the covenant betwixt me and you.
So this is a covenant that Yahweh made with Abraham, that every man child should be circumcised. And over in the New Testament, they ain't studying being circumcised. Read.
And he that is 8 days old shall be circumcised among you, every man child in your generations. He that is born in the house or bought with money of any stranger, which is not of thy seed.
If a Gentile or anybody that's in your midst have to be circumcised, no matter who it is, everybody got to be circumcised.
He that is born in thy house, and he that is bought with thy money, must needs be circumcised.
Must need, meaning it's mandatory that that a man got to be circumcised. But in the New Testament, it say, "Oh, don't worry about it. Just have faith in JC." Y'all know that's a lie. Read.
And my covenant shall be in your flesh for an everlasting covenant.
For an everlasting covenant, meaning there ain't no end to that.
And the uncircumcised man child whose flesh of his foreskin is
Talking about Paul now. The uncircumcised. Talking about Paul. Read it again. Start off. I'll cut you off. It's
And
Paul.
an uncircumcised man child whose flesh of his foreskin is not circumcised, that soul shall be cut off from his people. He hath broken my covenant.
He going to hell. So Paul going to hell. Because he just told you over there in the New Testament, don't worry about it. Just believe in JC. You ain't got to worry about no circumcision. Where they get that from? It's all about what Paul said now. Paul said, who was Paul? Paul wasn't a poot in the wind, wasn't a fart in the windstorm, and Paul gonna get you straight to hell with gasoline jars on. Keep believing in Paul and JC. Now I just proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that JC and Paul is two clowns. Two upside down clowns. Okay. Any question? Okay. Well, I'm gonna close out. And I'm going to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh by saying hallelujah, hallelujah. Praise the mighty Yah. Shalom, brothers and sisters. Aki.